Introducing Budweiser Zero. 0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar, full Budweiser flavor. For all the moments you want a beer and need to stay on your game. Budweiser Zero. Zero compromise.
My name is Joe Letsche. I'm the director of the Ross County Park District. What we are looking at doing here is to put an observation deck on the edge of this main lookout point to provide access for seniors, for people with kids, for a wheelchair, a power wheelchair that the Park District actually has a grant for. That's going to be able to, it's an off-road wheelchair. So the wheelchair wouldn't be able to get down to that lookout, but it could get out onto a deck to access the view. Some days I'll come out for a little while and just watch people to see what do people want, what do they need. Because a lot of times people don't know what they want. One example is that double benching. That when we walked in, you'll see where the bench is. There's a double bench on the trail along the side. I was sitting one day watching people, and people want to walk beside their dog or hold their kid's hand or just walk with their partner. But it's hard to do on a single track because the person's behind you and you can't hear them. And so I thought, what if we build a double bench? So it's like 2 single tracks side by side, and people can walk beside each other. There's multiple benefits that I won't get into because trail building can be a tricky business. But no one had ever asked for that, but it's obvious. And then once we built it, people loved it. And we got compliments, all the time. The STEM classes, the schools that come out, we have this 4x4 wheelchair. If someone is in a wheelchair or disabled enough that they can't make the walk out here, they can use the wheelchair. Also, again, seniors who can walk the trail, but they don't want to climb down there. Or people with kids, especially. That's a big one for people with kids. They want to see the view, but they're not letting their kids get that close to the trail. So we did some public opinion recently. The vast majority of people are in favor of the increased access. I think on 2 fronts people are questioning or and in some cases opposed to it. One is that they think that it's going to block the view, but that's not the case. So it's going to be back up against the trail, not down on that rock. So the view is not going to be impeded in any way. So the deck's not going to impede the view. The other thing is the idea that people don't want to see development in nature. The Park District faces that decision in basically everything we do. So it's just, you just have to weigh out, the pros and the cons of the development, whatever it might be. And in this case, people want to see this stay wild, totally understand that. Some of the people, a small percentage. But we also want to have access for seniors and ADA. And the funding we're seeking is a NatureWorks grant. So it's simply a matter of applying for the grant, and we wait and see if our project got funded. And if it is funded, then we will source the materials, find a contractor to build it, and make it happen. And there'll be other little things we do, like we want to look at this tree, a great tree. I'll probably bring an arborist out here to look at this tree and make sure this deck is not going to negatively affect this tree. If we get into the roots or whatever the case may be. The views from the cliff trails are amazing. If you've ever walked this, is one reason why it's so popular. Another thing I hear a lot is that it's so close to the city. So people feel like they can drive 5 minutes right outside of Chillicothe and they're in the wilderness. Because there's 1,300 acres here that are undeveloped. It's a pretty good chunk for being right outside of the city, particularly with the views of the gorge. This park is kind of our city on the hill. We have 22 miles of the bike path. That gets used a lot. Coppell Athletic Complex gets used a lot. Buzzard Roost is a little different, simply because of what we do. It's scenery, it's hiking. It's not a sports complex or a bike trail. And this park, STEM classes come out. We have local schools come out to use it as an outdoor classroom. Actually, 27% of our visitors are from Columbus or Cincinnati. So that's something we found out through some data collection over the last 3 years. Someone coming down from Columbus, Chillicothe is the first hills and green space they hit. Adding an observation deck increases accessibility for people to come out and enjoy nature and connect with nature. Check out rosscountyparkdistrict.com or Ross County Park District on Facebook to learn more about what the Park District has, because a lot of people don't know that we have these little nature preserves out on the edges of the county.